Hi, this is a quick Basic4Android video to show you a new library that's been released about a month or two ago from Erel, who's the guy who makes Basic4Android. And it's basically a library that will use hardware acceleration on your Android device to speed up drawing views on the screen in order to use normal view drawing for writing games. So this is the first step on a simple game engine in Basic4Android. It's got some code here. This is just downloadable from the Basic4Android forum. I'll post a link to this code and also to the library, which you'll see in your reference libraries list on the right hand side under the libs tab. You will need to install that library first, and again I'll put the link to that on the video. So if I just simply run this code, all this will do is basically just initialize a scrolling background and just a smiley face icon bouncing around on that background, but it will actually be running quite smoothly. On the emulator on my laptop here, it runs at about 35 or 40 frames a second. On my Android phone, it will run over 60 frames per second, much smoother than it does on the emulator, which is very good. So if I switch to the emulator here, you'll see it's running here. So it's actually running around about 40-45 frames a second. This emulator has GPU emulation enabled. So if I just show you where that is, if I go to the edit screen on the emulator, you'll see under hardware there's an option called GPU emulation. You can add this by clicking on the new tab and then scrolling down the list of items that you can add to your emulator. All this basically does is it allows your emulator to use a graphics card on your PC in order to speed up the graphics on Android. If I close this now, there is also another example, a more complex example, which has been put on the forum, which again I'll put a link to, which is a simple asteroids game written using this library. So you can see the main code itself isn't very complicated, but there are different sections of code up the top here which have all been included in the main code to make up the game. So the code itself is quite long, will take quite a while to go into. What the plan is, I will make a game using this library, a simple game, probably a Space Invaders type game, that sort of thing, and then work through the code step by step with you. Okay, so if I run this, again it will take a minute to compile and install on the device, but what we'll have at the end of it is a simple Space Invaders game, not a Space Invaders game, sorry, a simple asteroids game. So we'll just wait a moment for this to load. Switch to the device. It may actually show incorrectly on this device because the game's designed to run in landscape mode, but we'll just see what it comes back with when it runs it now. That's it installed and running. So you can see I can not play the game properly. Oh no, it is. You may be hearing sound effects if it's getting picked up by the microphone. This game plays a lot better on a real phone because it's designed to be used with dual thumbsticks, one for firing bullets and one for controlling the ship. So, and I can try again. So yeah, that's your GameView library for Basic4Android. You can download it now on the Basic4Android forum. You will need version 2.0, I believe it's 1.92 onwards of Basic4Android, and the device needs to support hardware acceleration for views, which I believe is Android 2.35 onwards. I'll post a link. I'll post the information in the description to the video anyway. Okay, until next time, we'll leave it at that.